And good evening now. We begin tonight with a former Richland County magistrate who is speaking out for the first time since losing her job. Latonya Derrick was not reappointed to the bench after a court case involving the Meadowlake Park shooting here in Columbia. 2 juveniles have been charged with firing the shots that left several people wounded, but 2 others were arrested near the scene that night. One was 18-year-old Taekwon Kelly. Authorities say it was his 3rd arrest this year. Hours after his arrest, Derrick granted Kelly a $10,000 bond. What followed next was outrage from law enforcement and local leaders, resulting in Derrick being taken off the bench.
I think it's fair to say that I have been put in a situation where I am a scapegoat.
After 4 years on the bench, Latonya Derrick is no longer a Richland County magistrate. The reason, she says, has to do with the recent shooting at Meadowlake Park. On the early morning hours of April 29th, 9 people were shot and 2 others were hurt in an incident there. Hours after that shooting, 18-year-old Taekwon Kelly appeared before Derrick in bond court. He was charged with the unlawful carrying of a weapon and simple possession of marijuana. Derrick knew Kelly from a previous court case, but says at no time was she told he was arrested near the scene of the Meadowlake shooting.
I read the Taekwon Kelly case and recalled setting bond for him on April 16th, and I called the solicitor's office with the clerk who was working that day, and the on-call solicitor that day was Jack Jackson, and he indicated that he did not want the case and bond should be set in Richland County Bond Court at Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center, which I did. So under the advisement of the solicitor, I set the bond.
The bond was $10,000, but the solicitor's office says they didn't determine the amount. In a statement to News 19, Fifth Circuit Solicitor Byron Gibson said the magistrate judge is required to set bond on nonviolent offenses, regardless of whether the defendant already has any other pending charges. The fact that Mr. Kelly was on bond for assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature at the time of his arrest does not change this requirement. In accordance with the laws of our state, Gibson says his staff advised that a bond hearing should be held for the defendant. The amount of the bond solely within the discretion of the presiding magistrate judge.
Each magistrate judge has their own discretion when setting a bond. So that was the amount that I thought was appropriate based on the information that was given to me by law enforcement.
Again, she says she wasn't told of any kind of connection with the Meadowlake shooting. But in reviewing the case, Senator John Scott says he was troubled. He says with Kelly being arrested 3 times in a matter of weeks, he should have been denied bond. So Scott decided not to reappoint Derrick to another 4-year term.
This is not the first time I did not appoint a judge back. If I evaluate a judge and I think in that evaluation that judge is not using what I consider to be good judgment, then I won't reappoint him back.
I understand the level of accountability that he has to his constituents, and I'm sure he was faced with a number of questions and lots of concerns. But at the end of the day, it's only fair to hear both sides of the story, and no one at any time, even as of this conversation, has reached out to me to ask for any understanding or clarification of what was before me for the 9 o'clock session of Richland County Bond Court on Saturday, April 29th.
Taekwon Kelly's bond was eventually revoked and he remains locked up tonight inside the Richland County Jail. As for Derrick's replacement, Senator Scott says an active search is now underway.